One more update today is that we received our first ever chargeback through our website. Someone had bought some silver Tipis packs actually, and they are saying that the item was not received as not as described. How's it going, everybody? Galaxy Card Shop here. I run a six-figure Pokemon card business. Welcome to my weekly Pokemon card business update video. If you haven't watched last week's, make sure to check it out. And today is Monday, March 31st. Got a lot to talk about today. So first we'll go over some cards that just came in. And then after that, I will answer some questions that I got in my last video. All right, here we are. I just opened all of these cards up out of, they just came from Japan. And I ordered them off of Buy. I have a lot of people ask me that. I ordered my cards off of Buy. And I've got a ton of cards here, and I bought them with the purpose of grading. And right now I'm grading with PSA. However, I am looking into CGC because I see that a lot of the CGC pristines do have quite the value. We're going to go into our little pickup. First, as you can see, we picked up some Terrestrial Festival singles. The reason being, they just had a reprint and I saw a nice dip in the price. So I got a good bit of Leafeons here. 3, 4, 5 Leafeons, which is my favorite evolution. And then we got 5 Vaporeons, 5 Glaceons. So the reason I went with those 3 is I felt they were, the price was good on them. The Flareon and the Jolteon were not as popular when I looked at the sales data. It could always change, of course. See, then I got 2 Blastoise SARs from 151. I wanted to get some Charizards, but the Blastoise was the best price at the time. And I will have to pre-grade all of these, of course. And then I got these 2 Greninja SARs out of Crimson Haze. These are hard to find at a good price right now. The Crimson Haze singles, they're kind of going through the roof because Crimson Haze did just get a reprint as well. But even the boxes are going up. So I think these are solid pickups. Hopefully they'll be gradable. Then I looked at Wild Force and Cyber Judge, and I noticed that a lot of the singles there haven't really moved, and I feel like they have a good chance to. Obviously, when you're grading, you want to try to find things that have a chance to move up and not down. So I've got some Iron Crowns from Cyber Judge, and then Raging Bolt from Wild Force, which is a solid art. Some Gouging Fires as well. And I think around this time, someone else must have noticed because the Walking Wakes were getting bought up, so I was only able to get 2 of those. Of course, it might be different now. And then the Shiny Treasure, I've always been huge on Shiny Treasure. If you've ever watched my videos, I love Shiny Treasure. I think it's such a great set. And the Charizard, I got 3 of those. Can't go wrong with that. And then, of course, these have been my staple for the past couple of months. I've been buying them up anytime I can. I bought them when they were 25, bought them when they're 30, 40, 50. The English version just continues to stay steady and rise, so the Japanese version is a good secondary choice in my opinion. So I got 5 of those, and I'm planning to continue buying them as long as the price is right. And like I said, if you're watching this from the future, things can change. Do not follow exactly what I'm doing just because I'm doing it. That doesn't mean I'm right, and make sure to make your own decisions. All right, we also got 2 cases of Stellar Miracle that just came in. I ordered that about a month ago. Whenever they announced the reprint, my supplier was taking pre-orders at a very low price, so I just went ahead and grabbed some. Normally I don't get cases because they're more expensive, but now we have 2. So we had a big question from a viewer on the last video. I just told him that I would answer it in the video because it would have taken too long to type it all out. So the first question they had was, how do you manage price fluctuations? I've noticed the set price changes every week, if not daily. Do you manually update your prices on your store and eBay shop to reflect the market? Or do you use an automated tool? I imagine tracking price movements across hundreds of sets can be quite challenging. So to answer that, I check the prices every day. Yes, I do change my prices every day if I have to. My supplier, my Japanese supplier, has a spreadsheet that he updates every day, and I check that. Not every supplier does that. Sometimes you'll have to message them and they'll send you like a screenshot or whatever I've bought so much from my supplier that he just sent me a direct link, and I'm able to just check it every day. I do look at the prices every day. That's just part of the job. Tracking price movements across hundreds of sets. I don't really have hundreds of sets. I probably have more like 12 or so it's really not too bad. And then the second question, is there a tool to sync prices and inventory between an eBay shop and an online store? I feel like keeping up with both price changes and inventory levels will be one of the biggest challenges as a business scales. And yes, I do use a tool for that. I'm using WordPress with WooCommerce, and there's a tool called WP Lister Pro. It is, I forgot how much it costed, but it averaged out to about $25, $30 a month, and that was worth it to me because that was about $1 a day to automatically sync my stuff, and it has been fantastic for me. Other people use Shopify, and there's a lot of tools for that. You can, I highly recommend Shopify, to be honest, if you're not well versed in technology, because it's very user friendly. So definitely look into that if you're planning on scaling, and definitely list your stuff on as many marketplaces as possible that you like. I personally just like eBay right now, so that's what I'm listing on. I started off listing on several marketplaces, but I've narrowed it down to just eBay for now. How did you promote your business when starting out? Getting visibility and establishing credibility in this market seems like one of the toughest hurdles. So I posted every day on Instagram. I've been slacking lately on Instagram. I really need to post more. It's hard to come up with content ideas. It's definitely hard to create. And I'm actually going to play a clip from my friend Ern Collects. Big shout out to him. His videos are fantastic. He does mostly car rants and stuff. But I'm going to play a clip from him that I think everyone should follow.
Create. Consume less, create more, network more, sell more, get involved more. Just stay away. Minimize the amount of consuming you do, unless it's to learn. And yeah, I know you're capable. We're all capable.
So yeah, I agree completely. Try to create more than consume. Creating is definitely more difficult, but it's something that you kind of have, I would say you kind of have to do it to start a business in this, in Pokemon. I mean, I guess you could probably spend a bunch of money advertising, but definitely create, get content out there for people to find you. And then another thing that I did was I did rip and ships on Whatnot, and that combined with my Instagram is really how I got my start. And I'm not huge by any means, a slow and steady grind. And then the last question regarding the Discord channel, you mentioned, is there a membership fee to join, or is it open to everyone? And that is the Pokenomics Discord that I talked about. It's I believe it's $10 a month, but to me it's worth it because it comes with another tool called Graded Edge, which is really cool. And one thing I've learned is never be afraid to ask questions. You know, sometimes I'll ask a question, I'll be like, man, everyone's gonna think I'm dumb for asking that, but nobody knows everything, so don't be afraid to ask questions. So good on you for even asking all of these, and hopefully my answer was helpful. And another update to the website, I have decided to sell single cards on there. I had a lot of people messaging me asking about single cards. I usually just tell them I sell on TCG Player. However, I realized that I can sell them for cheaper on my website because less fees, and also would rather build more reviews on my website. And this, I also cross-list to eBay, so I'd rather build reviews on my website and eBay than TCG Player. I already have over 1,000 positive reviews on TCG Player, so I would rather just build it on my website. So now I will have single cards. Now, if you're planning on buying a single card on my website, just keep in mind it'll probably not be a PSA 10. I do pre-grade most of my cards, and they're either going to be pre-graded, so they'll probably be off-centered. However, they will be near mint, and they'll be perfect for a binder, and they will be a fair price. So definitely check that out if you're interested in single cards. I still need to list more on there, but right now I just have this Iron Leaves. So hopefully that will drive more people to the website and my eBay store and get more sales. And maybe someone will, they might buy a single and then they'll want to buy a box, save shipping, etc., etc. We'll see how that goes. All right, today is Tuesday, April 1st. Yesterday was a pretty busy day. I actually had a good bit of orders come through later in the night. And I actually have a big update for the shop that I'm going to go over here in just a minute. But as you can see, the shelves are starting to get a little empty, which is good. You know, I was nervous that I bought so much stock, and it seems to be paying off so far. That being said, the profit margins have lowered significantly on both Heatwave, a little bit on Battle Partners, but mostly Heatwave because the price is dropping. So hopefully I can sell through the rest of this soon. But big update on the shop I'm going to show you guys here. So this is basically how I have operated the Galaxy Card Shop. I would sell my sealed and slabs through eBay and my website, and both of these would be synced. And any singles I got, which are mostly going to be grading misses and stuff like that, are going straight to TCG Player. Well, I have decided officially to do this. I'm going to sell my singles, sealed, and slabs on eBay and website. And the reason being, I want to build up my eBay store. I want to build up my website because they are synchronized. I don't currently have a way to synchronize TCG Player. And I also like eBay more. I think it's easier to sell things on there. There's a lot of competition on eBay. However, I think TCG Player, obviously, you're going to be more likely to sell something if you price it the lowest. But on eBay, you don't necessarily have to price it to the lowest to sell it. So I think you can sell stuff for slightly more on there. And I also like their eBay standard envelope a lot more. And I say that just as I bought a roll of stamps. And not only that, but I thought I lost another roll of stamps. So I have 2 rolls of stamps. And those are not cheap. They're like $75 for a roll now. So I have 2 rolls of stamps now that I bought. And of course, I'm deciding to move to this. That being said, I might still sell on TCG Player for like the super cheap stuff, like $1, $2 cards, stuff like that. I will probably still use TCG Player for, but I want to go this route because I think that building my eBay store, my website, I want more reviews on both of those. I have over 1,000 on TCG Player. So that being said, I did actually, and I'll show it on the screen now, I announced it last night on my Instagram, and I already made a lot of sales on the singles that I had. I sold all of these on my website, and I priced them well because I don't have to pay any as big of fees. Obviously, I still have overhead on the website. I've got the monthly costs. I sold all these. I was very, very happy. So first, cards that I ever sold on the website. Very, very happy about that. And I think this is a good decision. Another thing that I want to go over, I am currently using stock photos for the cards. However, I just bought a scanner. I got a good deal on a pretty cool scanner. I'll show that once it comes in. And I decided to do that because if I'm going to be selling like higher end cards, like an Umbreon or something like that, I want that to be scanned in because people are going to be less likely to want to buy an expensive card that's not scanned in. So another thing I wanted to go over in this video, I got all of my cards pre-graded. I can show you guys that later, but I am deciding to now grade through CGC, and I was really debating it for a while. I wanted to only do PSA, and the reason why I'm going with CGC, I'm going to show you guys here now, is the math just adds up. Right now, the math just adds up for the type of cards that I'm grading, which is mostly Japanese SARs. So, as you see, I paid $45 for this Leafeon here. We split it out. We got PSA on one side, we got CGC on the other, and I'm doing economy because I don't want to have to wait forever. This market's always moving. The quicker you can get back your submission, the better. So right now, PSA, bulk, you'll be waiting around 45 business days. And these are business days here. 45 business days. How long is that? That's a long time. The market can continuously change in those 45 days. And I don't want more cards held up there. Now that being said, I'm still going to send stuff to PSA, but this submission that I'm doing now is going to CGC for the first time. So CGC, 20 days, PSA 45. PSA is around $20 a card. I think it's more like 17, but when you factor in the insurance shipping, it's around 20. And for this particular card, I did the math. It has an 89% 10 rate. That's because it's Japanese, so more likely to get a 10. With CGC, if you're not aware, there are pristine 10s and there are CGC 10s. Pristine 10s are going to fetch a premium. Regular Gem Mint 10s they're a little in the middle. We'll go over that here in a second. So if I submit this card here, And that being said, the percentages are, you know, they're not always going to be 100% accurate, but I do believe in my pre-grading, so I'm kind of somewhat believing in this percentage. So doing the math is around 43% pristine, 46% that I just get a gym 10. So in total, it's about equal to PSA 89%. So going down here, I did do some math here. So for a PSA 10 Leafeon, they're going for about 120 bucks on eBay. If you get a 9, it's going to be 85 bucks. A CGC Pristine, on the other hand, gets around 175 bucks. That's what I'm seeing solds go for. So 120 versus 175. And then a 10 goes for 90. So seeing the math here, a CGC 10, you are about equal with a PSA 9 for this particular card. Now, if you're going to be sending in a big submission, you probably should do the math for every single card. But I'm just going to send all these with CGC probably. So doing the math, we got the best case scenario. If I get a PSA 10, I'll make about $38 profit after fees. This is, I factored in 90% of the sale price minus $5 shipping, minus the grading cost, minus what I paid. Came out to about $38. Medium would be if I got a PSA 9, I would get about $6 profit. For some reason, PSA 9s are selling at a premium for this particular card. I don't know why, but they are. And then worst case scenario is I get below a PSA 9 or the market downturns and I'm just down. I lose money on the grading costs and whatever other fees. For CGC, on the other hand, best case scenario, I make around $95 profit if I get the pristine. And if I get a 10, I'll get $15 profit. And then worst case scenario is I get a 9 or lower, which in that case, I'll just lose out on the grading fee and it'll probably be minus more than this, but that's basically my math. And you can probably poke holes through it for the grading experts. You can probably poke holes and shout at me in the comments. Definitely feel free to do that. But that is my logic. It just makes more sense to me to grade with CGC economy right now. And this is the main factor, 45 days versus 20. PSA does sell better as well, usually. But I am noticing with Japanese pristines, they are selling very good. So that is what I'm going to go with for this particular submission. And we will see how it goes. Sorry for the long rant, but maybe this helps somebody. All right, so just to show you guys my submission here. And as I said, it's pretty much all Japanese SARs. Most of the cards that I showed you guys yesterday, and I am hoping to get pristines on all of these. I mostly did the math for the Leafeon as an example. I still need to sit down and do the math for some of these other cards, but I am pretty confident that I'm going to be sending these to CGC just to try them out, and I like the turnaround time. And I do like that they are refunding the people that got screwed in their latest controversy. So that does make me a little more confident going with them. I know a lot of people that grade with both CGC and PSA, and that's probably what I'm going to continue doing. Like I said, I'm not switching to just CGC. I'm just trying them out, and we'll see how it goes there. I just have like hundreds of cards sitting at PSA, so I want to kind of diversify a little bit. And we're going to give it a shot. And I guess we'll see how that goes in 20 business days after they receive it. But that is basically it for today. Kind of a long update video today, more of an explaining type video, but I still want to record it for history so I can go back and look at it, and maybe it helps somebody too. One more update today is that we received our first ever chargeback through our website. Someone had bought some silver Tipis packs actually, and they are saying that the item was not received as not as described. So we'll see how that goes. I'll definitely update you guys on that. I knew it was a matter of time before we got a chargeback, but this guy, he has bought 3 times from us before, so I'm really hoping that he doesn't try to charge back on all 3 transactions. But if he does, we will definitely be disputing all 3. All right, today is Wednesday, April 2nd. I did get a shipment in today. I got some more Cyber Judge, ran out of that. I got some Night Wonder, first time I've gotten that in a long time. I only got 7 though, and then some more Mask of Change because it's actually been selling. So just a little restock on some slow selling boxes, but I still want to keep them in stock. I think I talked about it on a previous episode that I have decided that I want to keep as much in stock that I can. I'm never going to have everything in stock because that's just unreasonable, I think. I don't think any store has everything in stock unless you're like Walmart or something. But I want to try to keep as much in stock as possible just so that there's a higher chance to get a sale. And I also have to be careful though because I don't want to overbuy and then get a bunch of stuff that's just sitting there. I did some organizing today. I got some Future Flash back there. And I actually found some cards that I forgot that I bought a while back. So I found this stack of cards that I completely forgot that I bought. It's Japanese stuff. We got a couple Master Balls. Got a bunch of Umbreons. Roaring Moon. Dragapult. Some Pokeballs. And some ARs. A bunch of nice cards that I somehow put in my box and just completely forgot that I had them. So I'm going to get those listed today. And it'll be... actually, I'll probably wait till tomorrow because I get my cool scanner in, supposedly. And I'll be able to try it out on all of these. Yesterday I said that I bought a scanner to scan my cards because I think someone is more likely to buy a card that's scanned in rather than a stock photo. But anyway, some nice cards here. I already looked at all of them. None of them are worth grading. That's why I put them in the box, because I was going through cards that were worth grading and not grading, and these were not worth grading, and I just completely forgot that I even had them. So we'll get these listed probably tomorrow. If you're interested in buying any singles, I do have them on the website, galaxycardshop.com. After this video is published, these will be up, whatever ones that are left anyway. Today is Thursday, April 3rd. We've got a couple updates today. So got some slabs that came in, as well as my scanner, and we'll talk about another topic later in this day. All right, so first I want to show you guys the slabs that I got. We got 45 slabs, mostly English. We did get some Japanese, but this was my last sub that had a lot of English in it. So as you can see here, we got wrecked. We got an 8. And then this one we got a 10, so that's good. And we got a 10 on this one. And then we got a 9 on the Palkia. This sub overall wasn't horrible, but it also wasn't amazing. I love getting 10s on this. That's my second time getting a 10 on the Gardevoir. We got a 10 on the Growlithe. And I'm not going to take too long on this, but this is the Japanese. We got a 10 on the Magikarp. A 7 on this Charizard. Dude, I cannot get a 10 on this Charizard. I've submitted so many of these, and I never get a 10. So this is a 7. Obviously, I'm going to have to crack that one. 10 on the Darkrai. And then we got some Japanese here. Bubble Mew, we got a 10 on that one, which is fantastic. Another English 9 on the Blastoise. The 151 stuff is difficult to grade. Another 9 on a Blastoise. And then we got a 9 on the Chien-Pao. I got 10s on these before. You know, got the 9 on the Raboot. I think I agree with most people that PSA has gotten more strict. Another 9 on the Raboot. Because in these submissions, I kind of was just another 9 on the Blastoise. I wasn't gambling in a way. Like, if the centering, even if the centering wasn't perfect, I would still send it. Like, I think this one, I don't really know why this one got a 9. I'd have to look further into it, but there's an 8 on a Chien-Pao. So they're giving a lot more 8s out, I feel like, than they usually do. 10 on the Darkrai. So the Crown Zenith stuff is a lot easier to grade. 10 on the Raikou. 10 on the Terapagos. People were sleeping on this card. I was picking them up for like sub $70 for a little bit. I'm happy to get a 10 on this Iono. I bought this because of Journey Together, and I got it right and basically in time for Journey Together's release. So that should fetch a pretty penny, hopefully. 10 on the Squirtle. Finally got a 10 on this. I've sent so many of these into grade, and I always get 9s. So I'm happy about that. And then we got a 10 on this Infernape. I have a lot of those. I'll probably end up auctioning some off. 9 on the Chien-Pao. Like I said, Chien-Pao did not get very lucky. 7 on this Tatsugiri for whatever reason. So that's 2 7s in the submission. And we got a Japanese here. Another 10 on the Magikarp. And 10 on the Tatsugiris. This submission had a lot of Tatsugiris. I bought them when they were around $10, so should be some pretty good profit on those. One of my favorite arts. Another 10 on the Tatsugiri. And this one was a 9, unfortunately. And another 10 on the Tatsugiri. And another 10 on the Tatsugiri. A 10 on another Squirtle. Let's go. And I have looked at all these already because I'm impatient. 9 on the Entei. Unfortunate. 9 on this Charizard. Dude, like I said, I cannot get a 10 on this Charizard. It's my favorite Charizard art, and I cannot get a 10. Another 9 Blastoise. So I sent 3 of those. Got 9s on all of them. 9 on this Tatsugiri. We got a 10 on this one. So a good bit of 10 Tatsugiris. Another 10 Terapagos. Happy about that. Another 10 Terapagos. So Terapagos has, I've been getting lucky with that. 10 on the Charmeleon. Finally a 10 151 card. And then 7 on this Tatsugiri for whatever reason. 7 on this Gengar. I really gotta look at this stuff to figure out. I try to learn why something would get a 10, a 9, a 7. A lot of times it's arbitrary. Like there's not really a huge reason why. You can figure it out, but this one might have like a small dent in it that I missed, or it's possible that it got damaged by PSA. That does happen sometimes whenever they're doing encapsulation and stuff. 10 on the Feebas. That one's awesome. I wish I had a melodic with that one. Another 10 Tatsugiri. Like I said, I bought a lot of those. All from TCG Player too. And then an 8 on this Bubble Mew. I don't know how it got an 8. My Japanese stuff almost never gets below a 9, but it might have been a dent, or maybe PSA damaged it. I don't know. So that is all of those slabs. Here's the 10s. Good bit of 10s here. And I realized I recorded all that while I was zoomed in, but that's fine. So there's the 10 English, the 10 Japanese, the 9s, the 8s, and the 7s. So more 7s than 8s. If we stack them all together, you'll see is about a little over 50% 10s. So not too bad of a submission. I'm definitely not going to complain. I should profit overall. I've been bad about recording each card's price that I paid and all that stuff. I just don't think it's really necessary at this point. I think when you're starting out, it's probably good, but at this current point in my business, I just buy a card that I think is a good price, and I grade it, and then I sell it for whatever the market is, and I just take whatever profit that is, and then at the end of the year, I figure it out. But anyways, something else came in today. So right here, we've got a new scanner that I got. It should help me scan in my singles, which probably isn't 100% necessary, really, because people will buy it even if it's stock image, I realized. A lot of my singles have sold with the stock image on eBay and my website. But for the really expensive stuff, I wanted to scan it. For example, I'm probably going to be getting some Umbreons in pretty soon, hopefully before the end of this week. And for those, if any of them are not gradable, I don't want to sell them without scanning them in, because it'd be less likely someone's going to spend, $300 on a card that they don't know what the quality of it is. So this scanner here, it's the Fujitsu FI800R. I still haven't tried it out yet, obviously. It just came in. But I actually saw it in a video by RNG Games. And I don't know if he used this exact version or not, because the one he linked was on Amazon and it was like $400. But I found this one on eBay for like 115. So I don't know if they still have them in stock as I post this, but I'll probably put a link in the description for it if anyone's interested. We're going to try it out and show you guys if it works good. All right, we got the software installed for the scanner. All I had to do was look up the website and put my my Mac and the OS and everything, get it all downloaded. And I messed a little bit with the settings, and this seems to be the pretty best ones for me so far. I set the resolution to 300, and then you can keep it on that size because there's auto crop. You can set your folder format. I'm going with JPEG, no image correction needed. And then where's it at? Auto crop. Yep, right there. And then you see I already tried to scan right here. We're gonna do it live. So I got the card. All you gotta do is put it in like this, and then you hit that scan button right there. Takes it in, scans it. See how quick that was? And then it'll pop up scan right here for scan 4. Here it is. And then all you have to do is rotate it. Obviously, if you're on Windows, it'll look a little different. But there it is. It is auto cropped. It's in a sleeve. So it's got the top part of the sleeve, which is fine. I don't think that'll be a big deal. And it looks fantastic to me. I think it's a lot better than trying to take a picture with your phone, and it looks a lot more professional. It's got the white background, it's cropped. So we're gonna do that with all of our singles, upload them to our website and eBay, and I think the sales will probably increase than using a stock image, and it'll especially increase for the more expensive stuff where people might want to see the quality of the image, the quality of the card. I have all of these singles to list. So this little tool will definitely speed things up. It's not quite as quick as the one where you load in the back and then it like takes it in, but it's a lot cheaper. Like I said, I only got it for $115. It'll be in the description below. I think the listing's like 135. All I did was offer 115 and they took it. I think they're trying to get rid of these things, so I don't know how long that listing will be. If you're watching this like a year from now, then it probably won't exist. But very simple. Just place it in, hit the button, it'll take it in, spit it out, and then you just do the same on the other side. There you go. Now you got images that you need, and all the images that I need are now here. So here's the picture of the back, and you can probably use this honestly for pre-grading too if you're like unsure on the centering of something. You can get it scanned in and then use different tools online to try to see what the centering is. But that is it for that. And then on the last part of today, I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room, the tariffs that were enacted today. I believe they were enacted like right after I recorded yesterday, and there's still not a lot of information about it, just that Japan is subject to like 24% tariff. For here in the US, if you're in a different country, then obviously this doesn't affect you. For me, it's just business as usual. I'm not going to sit around and stress about it. I was stressed a little bit yesterday, but my girlfriend made sure to remind me that, it's nothing you can control. There's no point in stressing about it. All right, today is Friday, April 4th. Yesterday, we got a good bit of orders today. Orders are rolling in. Friday is usually one of our best days of the week for sales. I still have a healthy bit of inventory. However, with the tariffs, I'm still unsure if I'm going to be ordering more. From what I can read, from what I've read, there hasn't been really any changes to like the minimum order stuff. However, some people are saying that there will be, and there's just a lot of uncertainty in the air. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about ordering more inventory. I'm still, like I said, I have a healthy bit. I made sure to lower my quantities a little bit just in case, prices do go up so that I don't sell out immediately. The rumors, the different things people are saying, I'm not believing anything until I see something for sure. And, it's nothing I can control, and we're going to power through either way. I have really got more slabs to sell. This one already sold, this Charmeleon illustration rare from 151. Guy almost paid 300 bucks for it, which is crazy to me, but that's what it goes for because it's so hard to grade. But anyway, my plan for selling singles on my website, syncing it with eBay, is going well. I have already sold a lot. I still have all of these, but almost half of them have sold already. Like these evolutions already gone. I just got to pack them. And then I need to crack all of these slabs because they were all 8s and 7s. And then I'll get those listed. These are all my 10s. I sleeve all my 10s with these graded sleeves. I think this particular one's like cardboard gold. I just don't want there to get scratches on it and people complain because if you're spending $300 on a slab, you don't want it to be scratched up. So I think putting a sleeve, which was like 4 or 5 cents, actually it's probably less than that, like 2 cents after, because I buy them in bulk. I think that's worth the investment and the extra couple seconds of putting it on. So I got to put those on. And here's all the 9s. I have a lot of repeats in 9s, but I decided I'm going to list the 9s. And then if for whatever reason they take too long to sell, I can always crack them and then sell them raw because that's basically what they go for right now. Some 9s do go for a little more than raw. And that's part of the reason why I want to keep it and keep them in the 9. But it's also easy because I could just copy the scan from PSA instead of having to crack it out and then scan it in myself. So that's my plan with that. I did get new business cards in. This is my old one here. As you can see, there's a lot of words, and I also said wholesale available. But like I said in my previous video, I'm kind of pivoting away a little bit from the wholesale stuff. I will still sell in bulk, obviously. So I kind of simplified the card into this. So it just shows competitive prices, five-star reviews. That's for all my platforms that I sell on. TCG Player, eBay website. It's over 1,000. Free shipping on $250 plus, obviously emphasizing Pokemon. And I got my QR code. However, I probably plan on adding like singles, sealed, and slabs underneath this in the next iteration because I actually made this before I decided to sell singles. So I'll have all of them on there. And like I said earlier in the video, I'm going to be doing CGC, so I'm not going to say PSA. I'll just say, graded or slabs, whatever makes the most sense. I think my website I say graded cards because some people don't know what slabs are if you haven't been in the hobby before. All right, I went ahead and unboxed it, but I got 3 shipments in today. I got 2 boxes of 25 Terrestrial Festival, and funny story, my supplier had accidentally sent me 15 Terrestrial Festival and then some of these promo packs that come with the Heatwave Arena boxes. I just woke up one morning and he said, dude, I accidentally sent you someone else's order, which was 15 Terrestrial, and then I forgot how many packs it was. I think it might have been like 40 of these illustration contest packs. And obviously I'm going to pay for them because I'm not the type of person to just keep an order. But I told him, don't worry about it. I'll pay for them, whatever you want to charge me. But mistakes do happen, and I'm not going to, ruin the relationship with my supplier just over a mistake that they made. So I will be paying whatever these are worth and putting them on the website. I actually had a couple of people ask me about these, and I didn't even know my supplier was selling them. Otherwise, I might have bought some anyway. So pretty cool. If you're interested, they'll be on the website. There's like 3, like I said, there's 3 different ones you can get. And I don't know how many people are interested in them, but they are pretty cheap now, which is good. But one thing that I will say is that I'm completely out of English stuff, and I hope that my supplier or my distributor restocks soon because, I have a couple things like some Silver Tempest, a couple Paldea Evolved, and then I've got a 151 display that I'm keeping. But these are more like long-term holds for now, and I don't want to have to sell them, but I do want to keep my store stocked, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, other than that, I just need to do inventory of my slabs because apparently I have some that I still haven't listed, and I need to look through those, and things are doing pretty well, and I appreciate the support on these videos, and I plan to continue them. and change things up every week as I can. Try to get some better camera angles and talk about some more topics. But if you enjoyed, please hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully I can get this uploaded today. If not, then it'll be out tomorrow.